Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe. We are here for pre-season race 2 in Lobby 1 as we take in the circuit of Paul Ricard at the French Grand Prix. Good evening everyone, I am James Hay, going to be taking you through the stream as usual. I would normally be joined by RLRT Jekyll, however he is driving in Lobby 3, which is not going to be covered on the channel, so literally this is the only stream that you're going to have on the channel for the 640 races certainly, and then the 8 o'clock races of course will all be covered. But I'm going to be taking you through the next hour and 15 minutes or so, an hour and 20 minutes, depends on how long this race will actually take. Qualifying is 18 minutes, of course. Safety car is on. Vehicle damage is off as well. Should be quite an interesting race, I think. We've got 17 drivers currently with us in the lobby. Let's take a look at who is going to be racing here tonight. Some of the guys you might be very familiar with if you tuned in last week. Some of the guys you might not necessarily be, like D. Daniel, for example, who I'm not familiar with. Hopefully, we're going to see him do well as the other 17 that are going to be racing here tonight. But as we go through the lobby, I'll tell you a bit about every single driver. Larkin on top. Of course, I'm a lobby host here tonight in the Mercedes. Daniel is in the Alfa Romeo. Backy, the pole, a good drive from him last time out in the Red Bull, with Toxic in the Williams. Cookie Games teaming up with Backy in the Red Bull as well. XL Gary, Division 2 champion from last season in the Renault. The Irishman will be hoping for much better luck this time, and I hope I don't curse him like I did last week in China. Rocco, good returning figure, a debutant here in League of Europe, but a good returning figure to me. I haven't commentated on him in an absolute age. It is a pleasure to see Rocco here in the lobby with us, and hopefully he's going to deliver the goods. Trust me, he is a very good driver and very clean and very quick as well. Verstappen in the Williams alongside Toxic, with Dakar in the McLaren and Joom in the Ferrari. Joom drove a very good race last time out in China, of course dominated by Alphatrix in the end. Neo gave a good fight as well, he's also here tonight. Spine is in the McLaren alongside Dakar. Suku is in the Racing Point. Campbell is in the Renault alongside XL Gary. Killer Blue is in the Ferrari alongside Joom. Cohen is in the Haas. XL Neo was in the Mercedes alongside Larkin, and Captain Chubbs, another familiar name to me, not to you guys who might be tuning in. Captain Chubbs is part of TTML on the TTTV channel. If you tuned in to my stream last night, I had an absolute horror show of a stream. It was absolutely awful with connection. Luckily, we seem to be all fine so far, which is good to see. It looks like we are starting up. 20 seconds await us then before we go into qualifying. 17 drivers, as I say. Droppy, I think, was due to race as well. However, something has came up late. He is not going to be driving here in Lobby 1. But what a pleasure is to have you guys tuning in for Lobby 1 here tonight. This could be Division 1. These drivers are Division 1 potential. The divisions are going to be decided, though, within the next 48 hours, I can assure you that. There was an announcement posted on Discord earlier on today. But we are here at Circuit Paul Ricard. 15 turns await the drivers out on track tonight. A very good track for overtaking and for good clean battling as well, and these 17 drivers out on track will be hoping to do just that out on track. We of course have the Mistral Straight, which forms one of the two DRS zones here in France, the other of course being down the start finish straight. Now there has been a change to the start finish straight. You'll notice it when we come across the line in qualifying. The start finish line is actually about 200 metres further down on the little rise down the hill towards turn 1. That is where the start finish line now is. The start finish line normally would be where the P0 sign is. If you can see it on the screen there, that is normally the start finish line, but it's been moved forward on this game by about 200 metres, about 150 yards or so. So hopefully it is going to be not the less, and it's going to just add a couple of tenths on to the times that we should be seeing in qualifying. And speaking of qualifying, we are getting into that right now at the Circuit Paul Ricard. And no traction out on track just yet. Will be interesting to see if anybody decides to go on the medium compound of tyres. Of course, 3 compound of tyres available for the guys out on track are softs, mediums and hards. Be very surprising, to be honest, if I see anybody on the set of hards. They're going to be pretty much, I think, all going for the set of softs. This is their opportunity to prove themselves for the guys out on track. The first cars are leaving the grid. I'll just wait for the first car to come up on my screen, and that is Kvyat Cohen in the Haas. So the Dutchman has left the pit lane, and is hoping for a good result here tonight. Cohen actually drove quite well last time out in China in race 1. If you didn't tune into that, you can watch this back after race 2 here tonight in France. And of course, we go to Britain next week, but you can tune into that later on. Good evening to everyone that is in the comments section, that is viewing the stream so far. If you are tuning into League of Europe for the first time, I'm going to try and give a few pointers along the way on this formation lap, and that is the DRS system. The DRS system means drag reduction system, and that essentially gives extra power to these cars and to these drivers out on track, so they can utilise that down the straight. It's the same for the ERS system as well, the energy recovery system. Basically, just think of it this way: when the driver brakes into a corner, the energy will recover going through the corner. It's a little pointer if you are tuning in, as I say, to Formula 1 for the first time and don't know what all of these key terminologies mean, then I will provide you with just that. But it looks like we are about to get underway with Cohen first on a lap, and I'm going to get rid of the spectator menu for this one so you can see this lap proper. Let's see how Cohen is going to get on here at Circuit Paul Ricard through turns 14 and 15 to prepare for his lap. Drivers tend to take a wide line to prepare for their lap. Opens up the DRS now and runs down the straight. Should see in excess of 2 this lap. It's about 5 seconds on the way down towards turn 1, and there, through turn 1 he goes. Through turn 2, very nice on the power. Not like me in time trial, I've got to say, where I cut turn 1 and 2 quite drastically. Quite low through turn 3 and now through turn 4. And towards the end of the first sector here, very quick first sector here in France, and it's a 21.8 through the first sector. You should be seeing the top guys go around 21.5, 21.4 possibly through the first sector. Now through turn 7 onto the Mistral straight, which is split by the chicane node, which is the next turn that is up for Cohen. Turns 8 and 9 out on track, heavy into the braking zone just off the 100 metre board. Looking very nice through there is the Dutchman. Now, up the slight rise towards turn 10, which can be taken flat out in 8th gear. And you can see the energy recovery system. We'll talk about that when he brakes into the corner. This is a flat turn, so he's not going to be using much of the energy recovery system. And he can use the overtake button as well, which I'll come on to more in the formation lap. Cohen now coming through turn 11, and now through turn 12. And then through the kink of turn 13, Backy just getting out of the way. Oh, he's invalidated. Just on the exit of turn 12 there. So Cohen might judge this to come into the pits, and yes, he does. That's not the best entry, I've got to say, into the pit lane, coming across the white line, but no doubt a very good lap that would have been. Let's go on board with QVR Campbell, who's going to be one of the first to come across the line, I do believe. We go right on board with him through turn 11 and now through turn 12. As Toxic is our first lap of tonight, 27.7 with 4 minutes nearly gone in qualifying. You'll see the times tumble as we go through the session. We should see Neo well up there, and I think Neo is coming around the final couple of corners just in behind Campbell, so we'll cut to him in just a second. But Campbell now around the final corner. It is a longer run towards the start-finish line. The start-finish line normally there, but it's now about 200 metres down. Crosses the line, 27.4. Campbell goes quickest. Where is Neo, though? Out on track. He's coming through the final couple of corners, through turn 12. Looking good so far, but it's Campbell out on top, Toxic second, XL Gary in third. Killer Blue actually only 5,000th off Gary, so the Division 2 rivals from last season hoping to try and provide another great battle here in France so far. Rocco goes third with a 27.8 as well, but Neo about to come across the line. Is the German going to break into the 27s? Yes, he does, 27.4. 500ths of a second out on track, so Neo goes second. The German had very good pace in China, set pole position in China as well, set the fastest lap I do believe as well, but didn't win the race. Alpha Trix not here tonight is going to provide quite an interesting mix, I think, for some of these guys out on track. We go on board with Backy, who we saw get out the way of Cohen on his lap. Cohen is back out on an out lap as Backy, the pole now comes around the final couple of corners through 14 and 15 and then opens up the DRS, opens up the taps running down the straight. You'll see the ERS just ending off, flattening out, 27.7 though. Not really an excuse, to be honest. He only lost a little bit of power towards the end of his lap there, but a 27.7 puts him in 5th position. Verstappen as well has gone 3rd. The other Williams man out on track. You can see the halo designed beautifully, I've got to say, the Williams car. The Rokit Williams, which would have been known as Rokit, of course, but they lost their sponsor just before the season actually started, and of course a delayed season because of the coronavirus in real life. No delay to our season though in League of Europe, and the top 10 currently separated by just under 9/10 of a second. Campbell out on top, Neil second, Verstappen in third. Let's run on board with Captain Chubbs, who's just started off on a lap. The TTML man drove a very good race last season actually in TTL F1 around here. We'll be hoping for a better result from tonight. And now Chubbs through turn 3 and 4. Using no anti-lock braking, as you can see the lock up there, so he's using no ABS at all, just runs wide, but it's a purple first sector, 22.3 through the first sector for Chubbs, not a bad first sector at all, as he now comes up the Mistral straight for the first time on his lap. Does say on the graphics he is on a set of mediums, that is quite deceiving. I will tell you now, he's on a set of softs, you can see with the red wall tyre on his car, as he now flies through turns 8 and 9, through the chicane node, and then up the hill once again on the Mistral straight. The Mistral straight, as I say, is split pretty much by that chicane. There are numerous different layouts around here at Paul Ricard. It's a 49.4, however, through the middle sector for Chubbs, looking very nice and flat out through turn 10. Very hard into the braking zone of turn 11, and this can be counted as 2 corners out on track. It's not. Trust me, it is not. It's not on my track map anyways. Through turn 11 he goes. That is a flat 180-degree hairpin, and Chubbs just runs wide like Cohen did on his lap. And Chubbs, I think, is going to bail out of this one and come into the pit lane. Yes, he does. So he's into the pit lane. Kooky Games is on a lap as well. Let's just try and pick up on board with somebody that might be further up ahead. Cohen is one of those guys that is further up ahead. If you are tuning in, by the way, for the Lobby 3 stream, Lobby 3 I don't think is getting streamed here tonight. There's a lack of commentary on that front. V8 Field, who was due to commentate, has been doing the 24 hours of F1 event, which needless to say I will not go into on this stream, but he's tired out, and pretty much no commentator in Lobby 3, which means if you are wanting Lobby 3, no commentary. Unless you want to tune in for Lobby 1, the best of the best. Cohen now coming around the final couple of corners. Let's see if he can improve. He hasn't set a lap time just yet. He invalidated, of course, through turn 11 last time around. Cohen now across the line. Goes 7th, just ahead of Gary. That is on a fresh set of softs. He goes 3 thousandths off Rocco, actually quite close to be honest. Gary Killer Blue Suku separated by 600ths of a second. Rocco Cohen separated by 3 thousandths of a second. Add into that Toxic and Baki, and you've got a 10th of a second covering 4th to 7th out on track. And roughly from 4th down to 10th, 3/10 of a second. Just over 3/10 of a second separating the guys between 4th and 10th out on track. Let's run aboard if we can with Kooky Games. In fact, we'll not because he's invalidated his lap. Let's go on board with Joom. Let's see if the Spaniard can set a good lap here. 22.7 through the first sector. Not too shabby, to be honest, from Joom. And about 50% of ERS as he comes through turn 7 and onto the Mistral straight. And of course, Circuit Paul Ricard was featured actually last week on GT World on YouTube. If you saw any of the racing in the GTs, you would have seen this track in operation. In fact, I think it was for the European Le Mans series, if I'm not mistaken, for the LMP2s and for the GTs there. Joom now coming up towards turn 10, however. 50.6 through the middle sector. Looks like this is just going to be a bank lap possibly from Joom. He's roughly around a second, I would say, off the pace in comparison to Campbell. There's a yellow flag running down the straight, which I think is for an Alfa Romeo going slow, which will be D. Daniel on his lap. And Joom, in fact, I think, has he run out of fuel? I think he has. So Joom has run out of fuel, which means he is going to come back into the pit lane. Let's have a focus then on one of our main contenders from last season, Spine. Really good attribution to racing last season from Spine. Of course, in the same breadth as Montana from Switzerland. Coming through turn 11 and looking very good through there. Very clean on his lap so far. We pick him up in the middle sector. I think it was a 48.4 if I'm not mistaken through the middle sector as Spine now comes through. Halfway through qualifying, if you're just tuning in, good evening. I'm James Head, your commentator here tonight for Lobby 1. Campbell on top from Neil second, Verstappen in third. NSX Yelt, held on, has just joined into the lobby as well. So we're going to be up to 18 drivers. And the good feature actually is, and we'll pick up on board with Neil and Verstappen actually on his lap, and he's improving by a 10th of a second. The good thing is, Yelt will actually be able to join, even with a limited run time, he will be able to join and set at least 1, maybe 2 laps in qualifying. You'll see his name pop up on the left-hand side. Hopefully it doesn't cause any problems with me being spectator or anything like that. Verstappen now coming around turns 14 and 15 though in the meantime. He was nearly 0.2 of a second up. Let's see if he can improve ahead of Campbell. Are we going to see a 27.2, I wonder, from Verstappen as he now comes across the line to 27.3, just shy, about 1/10 of a second off as Yelta's left the session. Verstappen on top. For now, how's Neo getting on? Neo better come across the line now. The Mercedes man goes quickest. Oh, and puts it right to them. 27.1 from the Mercedes man. And the German, in a German team, has gone quickest. Very good lap there from Neo. And providing that nobody improves behind him, he will be on provisional pole position. So right on board then. If we can, if somebody is on a lap, let's just try and pick up on board with somebody that might be coming through towards the end of their lap. So it looks like nobody is for now. Suku, however, is. He's coming through the final sector, the Racing Point man. He came up the hill through the Mistral Straight and now through towards turn 12. We can ride on board then. Again, another one that's running no anti-lock brakes here tonight. Just runs wide. It can pick up an invalidation there, but that was actually quite good from Suku. He now flies through turn 14. Trying to get the run, the best run possible through 10.15. Normally the drivers take a wider line through there. That's my only criticism of his lap so far. But Suku looking actually to be quite quick here. Comes across the line, goes 8th. Improves by 0.2 of a second and drops in behind Cohen by about 0.05 of a second, which is not too shabby at all from Suku. Trying on board with Daniel, who just came off a lap. We'll go more with Chubbs. 49.3 through the middle sector for the Racing Point, teammate of course of Suku. And he now comes through turn 10 and through this 180-degree hairpin at turn 11. Very tricky, drops down to 4th gear actually. You normally see some of the drivers actually take a very high 5th gear through there and try and get the run out in towards turn 12, which will be the next corner up which he's just gone through. Chubbs now coming through, 5.5 minutes left. Neo on top from Verstappen second, Campbell in third, Toxic fourth. Baki has gone 5th as well, 27.5 from him. Chubbs then around the final corner. Let's see what he can do. He's on a set of soft compound tyres. Don't let those graphics deceive you on the left hand side. It's a 28.9 from Chubbs. Inevitably, I think he will improve on that lap. The Slovenian Kuka Games ex-Division 1 driver in Season 2, returning here to Division 1, or maybe to Division 1 for Season 4. Let's see what he can do through the middle sector, onto the Mistral Straight, the second half of the Mistral Straight as we go up the hill, and it's a 48.4 through the middle sector, and that indicates purple. Doesn't indicate that he's purple out of everyone, it indicates he's purple on his personal best. But just to clarify on that, Kuka Games now through this very tight left-hander, or right-hander I should say, through turn 11. Looking very good through there. And now through turn 12. Leo out on top, Verstappen second, Campbell in third. Most of the drivers are in the pit then. You should see a flurry of activity around the 3-minute mark for these guys to possibly get at least 1 or 2 laps in. Kuka Games, however, is going to light on the line now. Can the Slovenian get a good run out the final corner? Opens up that DRS, runs down the straight. He's just got marginal EOS, comes across the line, goes second. 27.2 from the ex-Division 1 man. And Kuka Games goes second, and he's a full 1/10 of a second ahead of Verstappen. That'll fill him up with a lot of confidence, and he's only 0.05 off Neo. Will Neo be able to improve on his lap? Just pick on board with Chubbs. He was 2 seconds up on his lap, however, he is going to file into the pit lane. Let's ride on board with Larkin as he comes around turn 12. Looks like, as I'm going to tune into the comment section by the way and see how you guys are doing on this lovely Saturday night here in the UK. Hopefully you guys are doing well, and I'm going to tune into the lobby now and have a look. Lobby 4, by the way, is also live. Yelta's just joined back. Larkin about to come across the line to start off his lap now. But let's have a look at see who's in the comment section. Good evening to everyone that is tuning in. FR Spyron T says yo. Apologies about my awful pronunciation of that. And Manu as well, saying let's go June. And Palmer has just tuned into the lobby, just tuned into the stream as well. Good evening to Palmer as well. Ex-League of Europe Formula 2 driver. 22.3 through the first sector from Larkin. He's on a set of the mediums, so interesting. He is going to try and go for a little bit, well, not for a sandbag, as we like to say here in these evaluation races, but he's certainly going to go for an alternating strategy. Daniel is the only one that has been on a set of mediums. 28.5 was his best. I think he can improve on that lap, but Larkin now coming through Chicane Nord and running up the Mistral Straight once again. 49.7 through the middle sector, so 1.3 seconds off roughly on Neo's fastest middle sector. Larkin is going to be probably maybe in behind Daniel, maybe just in around that sort of area for 13th. Larkin now coming through. Looking very good. As I say, Lobby 4 is live, so if you want to partake in watching Lobby 4 as well, then you can. But if you want to stay here, then that's even better, I think. Neo out on top, Kuki Games second, Verstappen in third. The flurry activity has begun. We run on board with Larkin as he comes towards the end of his lap. Very wide there through turn 14. And again, trying to pick out that line coming through turn 15. Up to third gear. Normally second gear is my choice through there, to be honest. But Larkin about to come across the line and goes slowest out of everyone. 29.4. He's got a racing point just coming out behind. I think that's Captain Chubbs, who was just exiting the pit lane. No, it's not. It's Suku, actually, the other racing point. Knew I'd get mixed up on them sooner rather than later. Let's run on board with Dakar. We haven't been on board with Dakar so far here tonight. The commentator of the season, beating me, nonetheless. But less we say about that, the better. But Dakar, of course, voted our commentator of the season by you guys, and he is looking to have good pace around here. 21.6 through the first sector, and a noticeable improvement you can see in that first sector. 6.5 tenths up as he comes through turn 7. Might just get the vague slipstream of Suku, I think, that is ahead, and possibly Larkin on the left-hand side. That is Suku just in front of him out on track. Hopefully you get out of the way down the Mistral straight for the second time, and he actually gets out of the way through the chicane node, through turns 8 and 9. Looking very good there, Dakar, the Scotsman. Now runs up the hill. What's his middle sector like? 48.4. Pretty much right in there with the mix. Could be around Verstappen Campbell sort of area, I think, with this one. Can he find time in this final sector? Now through turn 11. Up to broadcast cam once again. Looking very nice through there, Dakar, as he now comes through towards turn 12. He's looking very good once again through there, the McLaren man. And the Scotsman really flying on this lap. Let's see what he can do. Through the final couple of corners, he's got a little bit of traffic ahead. That's Spine just getting out of the way. That's Neil just getting out of the way as well. It's horrible to drive through traffic. A little bit of a lock up there through turn 15. But Dakar, I think, is going to really power out the corner. He could end up around Verstappen Campbell sort of area. What's his time going to be? He ends up 7th. That traffic man had just cost him a little bit of time in that final sector. Dakar goes 7th. And cuts turn 1 appropriately there as well. Let's run on board with Verstappen, who I think is off on a lap. So Campbell then is the one to improve through the middle sector. He's a 10th up through the middle sector. We'll run on board with some of the main protagonists as well here in qualifying. The top 12 are separated by 9 tenths of a second. Just under 9 tenths of a second. Campbell now through turn 11. Misses the in. And it seems like Campbell is going to be one of the first to come across the line. We should see some noticeable improvements on the left-hand side of your screen. Keep an eye out, because I might miss stuff. As Daniel goes 4th with a 27.3. Campbell now around the final corner. We need to really power out to try and get Neo full pole position across the line. Goes 2nd, and he's only 1600ths off Campbell. Where is Kuki Games on the lap? He's 600ths down through the first sector. Verstappen is done. Neo is 200ths up. 200ths down, I should say, through the middle sector. Let's see if Baki is improving or Dakar. Not really many improvements. Rocco now coming around the final couple of corners. 27.8 is his current best. Now he should be able to improve on his lap. Where's he going to go, though? I think it'll be Toxic Baki sort of area for 7th and 8th. Rocco now about to come across the line. Let's see what he's going to do. Across the line he goes. Oh, right in between both of them in the same time as Toxic. Goes 8th. Neo was done. Kuki Games has spun as well. That is pretty much qualifying over, unless there's any improvements. Chubbs is on a good lap here across the line. He goes 14th. Doom is down on a lap, and Larkin across the line to improve. He doesn't. He improved by 700ths of a second and starts right at the back of the field. Dakar is done on a lap as well. That is qualifying here. Over and done with for race 2 of Lobby 1. It's Neo out on top, Campbell in second, but look at how close the top 3 are. 500ths of a second separating the top 3. Just leave that in your minds for one moment. Unbelievable stuff. And the top 13, I've just noticed, are actually separated by just less than 8 tenths of a second. So fantastic qualifying here. And actually the whole field separated by 2 seconds. Discount June, Spine and Larkin, who are on a set of mediums. The whole field are roughly covered from 1st to 14th by just over a second. Just over a second, which is absolutely unheard of here at France. It's normally quite close to qualifying around here. I didn't think it would be that close though. As the qualifying order now comes up on your screen, Neo takes it 1600ths of a second. The X Division 1 man takes on pole position for the 2nd week in a row. Campbell in 2nd with Kuki Games in 3rd. Verstappen in 4th with Daniel setting a good lap there in 5th on his debut. Killer Blue was in 6th. Toxic in 7th. Tied with Rocco. Unfortunately, Toxic set the lap before Rocco, so he gets President over Rocco there for 7th. Rocco in 8th though, with Baki in 9th, Daka in 10th. Top 10 separated by 4/10 of a second. Cohen in 11th, Siku in 12th, Gary in 13th, Chubbs in 14th. Top 14, as I say, is separated by just over a second. Doom in 15th, Spine in 16th, Larkin in 17th. I get the hint that Doom, Spine and Larkin might be sandbagging slightly on their qualifying pace. Judge it by their race pace. It looks like, to be honest, mediums to softs will go better. Hopefully the tyre graphic will come up. I've been having the worst luck, I think, with the tyre graphics. They literally only come up for 5 seconds, and it is individual to each driver as well. But these 18 drivers actually are going to do battle here tonight at the circuit Paul Ricard. Now at this point, of course, I would, well, not put on some music and make a prediction, but tonight we have just seen the tragic passing of Paul Green, who was one of the front men and one of the co-founders of Fleetwood Mac, of course, who's done the BBC theme tune on Formula One, The Chain. Now, of course, our thoughts are with their family and friends and what I'm sure is a horrible time, and just thought I'd mention that on stream because The Chain is a classic, iconic track associated with Formula One. If you've never heard it, go and watch it on Spotify, go and listen to it on Spotify, go and watch it on YouTube. It is an awesome, awesome track. It is fantastic. Formation lap though about to begin here for race 2 of Lobby 1. And let's see how these guys are going to get on. Neo Al on top, of course. Campbell 2nd. Kooky Games in 3rd. Difference in the tyres. Of course, the top 10 have to start on their qualified set of tyres. All of them on a set of softs. Cohen, Gary, Chubbs, Larkin and Yelt. That is Heldorn down in there in 18th position. They're all on the set of medium compound tyres. Now, I'm quite surprised, actually, that drivers have gone for the set of hards. It's Suku, Doom and Spine that have. So they all go for a set of hard compound tyres. Maybe they're expecting something that is going to pop up later on in the race, i.e. rain. Now, I think we're on clear weather, so that shouldn't really make a difference. But it's quite interesting to see some of these guys go on a set of hard compound of tyres. It's going to be very interesting, I think, to see how they get on and the progress of these guys, how they get on as well. Remember, don't lie it on the line on lap 1 because you're literally going to get screwed over. There is no damage on, but you're still going to get screwed over if you make one mistake on lap 1. The race cannot be won on lap 1. It can only be won at the checkered flag on lap 27. That's what the drivers have got to remember out on track tonight. As we now come through this fearsome corner through turn 11 at the hairpin. Could call it a hairpin, but it is technically a 180-degree right-hander. But I call it the hairpin anyways. But who are your predictions going for here in Lobby 1 tonight? I'm going to make mine now and say that Neo is going to win. No Alpha Tricks tonight should make it quite an easy job, I think, for the German to pull away early, as Daniel and Killer Blue have had a collision on the grid. And they get reset to the grid. So Neo for the win. I'm going to go for Verstappen for second. I think Verstappen has got good pace around here. Could do a good job in that AlphaTauri in there in 4th position. And it's a Williams, actually, not an AlphaTauri. Goodness me, I've absolutely messed that up already. There's the predicted pit stop strategy. 2-stop strategy seems to be the way to go. Lap 6 to 7 for set of softs, lap 14 to 15 for set of mediums. And like that, it literally goes off. Quite literally. But a one-stop can work around here as well. The final car is just joining onto the grid, and we're just moments away from the 5 red lights about to go out here in France at the circuit Paul Ricard. The 5 red lights are on for race 2 of Lobby 1. And it's lights out and away we go. Neo gets a good start, so does Kooky Games as well. Good jump Campbell on the run down towards turn 1. A little bit of a slide actually, as we see a whole load of desync going on as Campbell and Verstappen have dropped down the field, but Neo goes through turn 1, safely out in front. Kooky Games is in second. There is Campbell actually holding on for second, running through. A horrible timing glitch on the left hand side. There is a spinner around, and I think that's NSX Yelt if I'm not mistaken, or Cohen possibly through turn 2. But the timings have completely glitched on my screen, and you can see that this is going to go absolutely horribly wrong on the left-hand side. It's Neo who leads, though. Campbell second, and Kooky Games in third. Cohen is the one that has gone round through the first sector. and he's on a set of mediums as well. There's been another little collision further down the field. Larkin perhaps getting caught up in a bit of an instant, but Neo leads. Campbell second, Cookie Games in third. Toxic is on the back of Verstappen, not 0.08 of a second away, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen. But Neo leads the way. We are on lap 1, by the way, as well. It has gone horribly wrong so far in terms of the timings and everything like that on the left-hand side. And there's the predicted pit stop strategy coming again. So it has changed actually from what we saw earlier on. But Neo out on top by 0.6 of a second from Campbell in second. The timings will fix itself as they come across the line to start lap 1. But Neo getting a very good launch. Campbell as well getting a good launch. Cookie Games initially got a very good start. Looks like Campbell had bogged down, but Cookie Games so far is on the top. Hopefully we're going to get on board with some battling further down the field very soon. But it looks like they're coming through in one abreast formation. And Neo leads across the line. 0.6 of a second the gap. And now the timings fix themselves on the left-hand side of the screen. So I could actually cut to drivers that might be potentially going for moves. Like NSX Yelt, who was up to 15th position early on. There's blue flags there on the right-hand side. I don't know what that was for. No slow cars at all out on track. Goodness me, you've got to love Codemasters' game on lap 2 here already. And I'm spotting glitches left, right and bloody centre. Honestly, it's fun. Neo leads the way though by 0.7 of a second from Campbell in second, Cookie Games in third, Verstappen in fourth, Toxic in fifth, trying to chase down his fellow Williams man out in front. Let's see if he's going to try and get him on the run towards turn 10. The other chicane just misses the apex slightly and runs through there quite nicely. Gary's up to 10th early on as well. Backy dropping down the field a couple of positions after initially a bad start. He dropped down from 9th. Daniel's down a position, Killabee down a position. Most positions gained though was actually Yelt and Gary from 13th and 18th respectively on the grid. Not really much going on, to be honest, on lap 2. There are, obviously the drivers are quite close, but they're running in very much line of stern formation, so they're running 1 by 1 rather than the 2 by 2 Noah's Ark, as I like to say in commentary. Towards the end of lap 2, it's the German who leads. It is Neo out in front. You can see actually Cohen, just on the mini-map, he's about 3 seconds behind Larkin, but he is gaining. These guys are beginning to battle in front of him. Neo across the line for the fastest lap of the race, a 1:32.1, set by the German. And he sets about onto lap 3 we go. Verstappen trying to hunt down Cookie Games though in the meantime. And Backy actually trying to hunt down Gary further down the field. This is up towards turn 3 and 4. Looking quite good so far. Apologies, by the way, if I do have to take constant drinks out on track here tonight and in the commentary. Hopefully it is going to be the case where that, hopefully, as my connection is dropping all of a sudden, I don't know why that is. Backy now coming through on the back of Gary. He's only 0.3 of a second off, but in the meantime, with the DRS, Neo and Campbell look as if they're going to start battling very, very soon indeed, as Larkin has got down the inside of Spine. Good move there by Larkin. He got on board with that quite late, but the Mercedes man is through and he's up into 16th position. Spine down to 17th. Is he going to get a run up the hill? There's no DRS, remember, up the hill, as Joom is on the back of Suku as well. This is the 13th and 14th position. Spaniard on a set of hards. Suku was well on a set of hard, so these guys making good progress through the field early. Should see some early pit stops for the guys on a set of softs that qualified on that set of tyre. Apologies about that, but Neo leading the way from Campbell. Cookie Games in third position. Chubb's just running wide there as we come through turn 14. Joom is on the back of Suku. Is he close enough for an overtake though? He's on a set of hards. Same with Suku. Chubb's just struggling maybe for pace coming back to these guys. But nobody close enough for an overtake. A massive DRS train, pretty much 9.5 seconds covering the top 17 out on track. Cohen is the only one off the field really, to be honest, and not really much has happened in terms of overtaking apart from that overtake with Larkin and Spine. I am going to be back in just a second because my voice is going. As we ride on board with Campbell running up the straight on the Mistral straight, and looking good on the back here. Not quite close enough though. It's good that I've got a drink alongside me. I don't think it's going to last that long, to be honest, but we'll see how it goes. Yelt on the back of June. 0.3 of a second separating. And actually Campbell closing up right to the back of Neo, coming through turn 11. This is for the battle for the lead. And I'm just going to get a throat lozenge. June is side by side with Suku further down the field, trying to go for the move there. Is he going to try and go around the outside? Through turn 12, this is a very hard place to overtake. But June looks like he might have got it done, just slightly off track, but he was the car ahead when pulling off that move. And he's through. So June is through and he's up into 13th position, out on track. Very good move there by June, and Yelt is going to try and get onto the back of Suku as well to try and line up a bit of an overtake here. Onto that 5 though, Neil leads, Campbell second, Kuki Games in third, Verstappen fourth, Toxic in fifth. With Daniel in 6th, Killaboo 7th, Rocco in 8th, Daka 9th, Gary in 10th. As I say, most positions gained is Yelt and Gary from 18th and 13th, respectively, on the grid in terms of Gary. But now Campbell on the back of Neo. 0.3 of a second as we see Yelt, I think, diving it down the inside there. Just cut off that, but here comes Campbell for the lead of the race. Neo not going to allow that one quite easily. But actually, Campbell has got the move done. He's through and he's up into the lead of the race. Daka is through as well on Rocco. Rocco drops down a position. The AlphaTauri and McLaren easily through. The Scotsman having good pace around here. It's all beginning to split slightly. Suku launches one. Oh, and that is Yelt, I think, off track trying to get the move done. Completely off track. He's going to have to let the guy through. Suku on the left-hand side. There is Yelt on the outside line, I should say. And Suku's back through. It's up to 14. That was a complete and utter overtake, I think, off track. And now Yelt is actually going down the inside of Suku. Oh, tries to have it in. 3-second time penalty, though. This is getting quite... Getting involved in this as well, perhaps, as well as Spine. Kuki Games is into the pits from 3rd position. As Suku down the inside of Yelt tries to force him into a bit of mistake. June on a 1 bar, trying to go around the outside of Captain Chubbs. Through the final corner he goes. Not quite pulling off the move, though. June on the back. This could be clean sailing, possibly for the Spaniard, and he's through and he's up into 10th position, and Suku as well down the inside on Yelt. Oh, very close action here. Larkin going to make it 3 wide down towards turn 3. Larkin on the inside line, 2x2 is the goal through Noah's Ark. Yelt, oh, Larkin just leaves him short of room. Yelt maybe trying to go for the move that really wasn't there. And now has to rejoin back in track. Yelt not having the greatest race so far out on track. Larkin up to 12th, Span up to 13th, Suku up to 13th in all of that. Hay fever running rampantness for me here tonight. I hope I'm still coping you guys, and I hope I'm still keeping you thrilled with the action that I'm providing you. It is Campbell who leads, Neil second, Verstappen in third, Toxic fourth. Kuki Games, by the way, out in clear air. Well in clear air as well. And it looks like the gap... So I'll get the leader time up. It's 23.5 seconds, so bear that in mind as we come towards the end of this lap, and we should see another round of pit stops begin to happen. We should see the pit window actually begin to come off on the right-hand side. It should pop up probably at the end of this lap from a set of softs. Everyone diving in, the top 3 are in. So Campbell, Neo, Verstappen all into the pit lane, and it looks like actually Daniel has dropped down a position through behind Toxic, so Toxic is through into the lead of the race. Pit window should come up on the right hand side. It doesn't, which I think is great because Codemasters clearly don't like the pit strategy around here, but Toxic leading the way. Quite a few into the pit lane. Let's have a look with Neo. He's been jumped by Campbell obviously with that overtake. Campbell now out, going to be in 11th position. Where is Kuki Games? He's coming past. Could get these guys. There is Campbell. There is Kuki Games. Kuki Games pulls the undertake off and he gets the net lead of the race. This is for P11 currently out on track. Slams the door shut. And the Slovenian, the QVR man, against his fellow QVR teammate. Team for 11th and 12th. This is with the mini league. It'll be absolutely fantastic for Team QVR, but it's not. And Kuki Games is through and he's up into 11th position. But that is for the net lead of the race. I kid you not. Daniel attributing himself well. He's on the back of Toxic. Trying to come back at him here. 0.3 of a second separating as they run up the hill. And Toxic under pressure now from Daniel to be right on board. Not really much happening further down the field. Campbell just losing time to Kuki. I'm going to cope somehow with coughing and spluttering and all sorts here tonight. It's horrible to commentate on this. My first voice crackling, and here comes Campbell though on the back of Kuki. Not going to go for the move. Kuki's got very good pace here. And he's looking very, very good so far. He's got the undercut done. They're all on a set of hard compound of tyres, so could make this last towards the end of the race. Tell you where it can be quite high around here. Toxic and Daniel, by the way, are into the pit. So, these guys that were in 4th and 5th are now into the pit then. And Toxic into the pit then, and there is Toxic coming out ahead of Daniel. There's Kuki Games going by. There goes the field going on by. They were 4th and 5th when they came out the pits, and it looks to me as if it's going to be something similar. Yeah, Daniel's just dropped a position there to Killer Blue, but Toxic out in a net 5th position. So the guys ahead have still yet to pit. Campbell on the back of Kuki Games though. For the net lead of the race, we'll focus on this battle for now. Spine as well is on the back of Larkin running down the straight. Is he going to try and get the move done by Shua? I think he will. He's down the inside line. There goes the Mercedes flying on by, and Spine is through the McLaren man, and he's up into 4th position. Kevin the outs on track. Larkin's going to have a come back at him here though. Just checking behind. There's Suku. There is Yelt and Cohen chasing him down as well. Spine using a little bit of overtake mode just to pull away. He's still in 4th position. Yelt is on the back of Suku. These two, no love lost between these two so far. We have seen some pretty aggressive battles so far between them both. I would say it's ones each, and you see Yelt nearly losing control of the car. Suku nearly forcing Larkin through turn 12 there, just in front. And there is Cohen trying to chase down the AlphaTauri as well. But you can look around, by the way, and take in some of the camera angles. That is a camera angle on the half. It's Yelt. It's around the outside here, through the final corner. Really trying his luck here, Yelt, but doesn't pull it off. And there, Suku just absolutely pulls away from Yelt. Fair, but not really fair. Spine around the outside through turn 1 on Captain Chubbs. Good move. Goes Spine up to 3rd. And the Swiss man now ahead of Chubbs. He's beginning to lie maybe to Joom and Gary. It's only 2.6 seconds the gap. The gap can close down quite severely out on track. Well, there's Gary who leads the way. Joom, by the way, running the revving glitch currently out on track. So look on board with him. Spine in 3rd, Chubbs in 4th, Larkin 5th, Suku 6th, Yelton 7th. Backy's just picked up a 3-second time penalty further down the field as well. Cohen beginning to get into this though. Right on board with Yelt. As he now comes down the straight. Not quite close enough. But is he close enough possibly on the run up towards the hill? Chubbs just struggling for a bit of traction there just in front. He's going to try and come back at Spine, possibly running up the hill. Suku is certainly going to have a go here at Larkin. Down the inside line. Oh, basically bomb drafts him through turn 10. Now through the flat right at turn 11. Can he try and get the move done? He's on the inside. Oh, has to recover the car. Little bit half-hearted there, to be honest, from Suku. Larkin keeps the position for now. Suku looking very racy, though. Just got to time it to perfection. And he's on the back of Larkin. Yelt as well, trying to close in on this as well. As we see, the broadcast cams to come through. Oh, Cohen was going to come into the pits there. I think he's on a set of hards out on track. No, he's not. He's on a set of mediums. But halfway through. Well, not halfway through, 1/3 of the way through. Lap 10 out of 27, just got onto. Gary leads, Joom in 2nd, with Spine in 3rd. Yelt just warning Suku that he's still there and that he's up for a fight. Joom, Spine and Suku, by the way, just notice they are not on 0 lap tyres. They have not been into the pit lane just yet. It's another glitch here tonight. You've got to love the glitches that Codemasters provide us, even with a patch update from earlier on in the week. As we'll ride on board with Gary. Getting chased down by Joom. This is for the lead of the race. We're going to take this from a reverse camera angle, pretty much, running down the Mistral Straight. You can hear the revving engine just in the background of Joom. No way overtaking for now, but let's see. This camera angle as we come up the hill, through towards turn 10. There's the track ahead of him, and there is Joom. Going alongside, and now ahead. Joom is through, and he's into the lead of the race. Good move there. Quite easy, to be honest. Is Gary going to come back at him? No. Hard seemed to be the way to go. Larkin and Chubbs having a good battle as well for 4th and 5th. Suku on the back of this as well with Yelt and Cohen. Cohen just latching on now to the back of this battle for 4th. Further down the field, however, though, Rocco is having a good battle with Baki. 17th and 18th currently. But, trust me, action all the way happening up and down the field so far here for League of Europe Race 2 of Lobby 1. Suku now looking at his teammate. This is for 5th and 6th. Down the straight of the goal. Down the inside. Oh, Suku trying to go around the outside now on Chubbs. Can he get the move done? Chubbs gets the run. Down the inside line. Overtake mode used up to perfection. Yelt's in behind it as well, trying to go down the inside of Chubbs. Chubbs just bullied out of that position slightly, but Yelt is through and he's up to 6th. Cohen as well. Chubbs, you've got to feel sorry for Chubbs. He's now lost 3 positions pretty much. And Cohen fighting down the inside. Oh, there's contact. Cohen trying to go for a move that really isn't there. And Chubbs stays 7th. Cohen stays 8th. In that battle. Good ride on board with the camera angle, I've got to say. Even though it was happening further back, you saw what was happening quite clearly. Beautiful POV shot, I've got to say. Suku now up to 5th position, trying to fight Larkin once again. Jimlo leading. Hards really coming into play. Those guys on the mediums set of tyres are going to go one stop, but they're going to have to try and go Hards pretty much to the end of the race if they were to pit in now. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the action and are still with me. Suku and Yelp just pick up 3-second time penalties coming on the exit of turn 11. I am going to be back in about 30 seconds. I'm just going to clear my throat once again. So the medium runners then begin to come into the pit lane. Gary, Larkin and Chubbs all into the pit lane. Larkin as well, interestingly, is into the pit lane. He's on a set of hard compound of tyres. And he was on a set of mediums, actually, so that makes sense. There is Chubbs into the pit lane as well. That now puts Campbell in the net lead of the race. He's got past Cookie Games somewhere out on track, which we totally missed. So Campbell now through and he's up to 6th position currently out on track, but that is the net lead of the race. And he now leads by 6/10 of a second. So we totally missed that out on track. Not sure if it was a clean let through, not sure if it was a good overtake with Campbell, but we have missed that. So Campbell is through and he's up to 6th. Cookie Games now down to 7th. But really latching onto the back of this now is Verstappen and Toxic. These guys all really in the same clan. 2.5 seconds separating. Yelt is round through turn 8. I think he might have got caught on the inside curve there. Don't think Cohen was around him. He gets a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. That's a little bit of a daft one, to be honest. That might be given to the stewards to have a look at. That 5-second time penalty could be removed. This is pre-season, remember, so that might not be the case. Cookie Games on the back of Campbell. We're nearly halfway through here in France. If you've been enjoying the action, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the League of Europe channel. 361 subscribers I think we were on the last time I looked. If we can get that up to 365 by the end of the night, you're going to be seeing me next week. Trust you that. You're going to be seeing me every week until I, well, lose my voice. Yeah. That works, doesn't it? I think. Anyways, Cookie Games. Cohen is into the pitch, going to try and go undercut. So we see Cookie Games again on the back, the Slovenian, I should say, nearly messed that up. Cookie Games on the back. But there is Neil. Neil now looking quite quick. We go on board with the POV shot. He runs down towards turn number 3 and 4. Yelt just holding up these guys. Medium's really going off the cliff here for Yelt. And now Campbell, Cookie Games and Neil, and possibly Verstappen and Toxic as well, have got to try and fight through. As we'll see, the DRS open. Yelt is going to try and defend to the inside line. He's going to make that car look as wide as possible. Switches, but no chance. Campbell is through and he's up into 4th position. Yelt has a bit of a half look, but not quite. Campbell's through and he's up to 4th. Yelt, those tyres, I'm sorry, are absolutely gone. He's losing time already as he comes out of the Mistral straight, out of the chicane node and onto the second half of the Mistral straight. But Neo now, and up the hill through turn 10. Weirdly, I don't know why we got on board with that camera angle, but Neo looking good so far out on track. But the advantage though for these guys are Cookie Games Neo on a lap or two all the tyres than the likes of Toxic, who pitted on 5 lap 5 lap all hard as Yelp comes into the bits from 4th position, or from 5th position as he got overtaken by Campbell. Cookie Games though, it is now Verstappen pressurising Neo on the run down towards turn 1. He's going to have a half look, but he's not going to go for the move. Verstappen stays in position for now. Dutchman against German here. It's for net P3 out on track. If you are just tuning in, you've missed quite a lot so far. Not really in terms of overtaking, but certainly in terms of battling, you've missed quite a lot. And if you are just tuning in, of course, Jake Cole not alongside me in the commentary box. He's racing in Lobby 3, which is not getting covered on the stream here tonight because we have no commentator. I would have gone for myself, but I was commentating at the same time. It is now, however, a possible opportunity for a net P3 for Verstappen. Look at the closing speed of the Williams. Is he going to have a half look? He's going to have a full look. Down the inside, Neil's going to try and relinquish the position. Verstappen 3-second time penalty. Neil back through. There is Toxic as well, having a good eye of the action. The two Williams are really catching up to the Mercedes of Neo, and Verstappen is going to try and go around the outside through turn 10. Can he get the move done? Neo on the inside line, Verstappen on the outside line, hanging off the camera of the corner slightly there was Neo. It just forced Verstappen into a slight move to the left-hand side, but Neo was through, and he's up into 6th position. Yeltsin's retired out on track as Verstappen half loses it through turn 11. Verstappen, a rare mistake from the Dutchman, gives Toxic the position. A slight oversteering moment there from Verstappen lets Toxic through, and Toxic now takes a net P4 out on track, with Campbell obviously ahead of Kuki Games, so that wasn't for net P3, it was a net P4. I correct myself on that. But a rare mistake by Verstappen. Maybe the tyres are beginning to go slightly. Maybe overheating beginning to creak into those tyres. I'm still going. My voice is going, but I'm still going. I'm determined to get through a stream here. Toxic on the back of Neo. 0.5 of a second gap. Don't think there's going to be many opportunities for overtaking. However, Gary is through on Spine. Spine has already been into the pits, contrary to what has been said there on the tyre graphic. Fastest lap, by the way, has gone to Campbell so far. 32 flat for Campbell. Spine, though, on the back of Gary. This could be one of the easiest overtakes you'll see all night. Lining up. Swiss man. That is the easiest overtake you will see all night. He just saunters on by Gary. I feel sorry for the Irishman. He had absolutely no defence there in the Renault. The McLaren, the fresher tyres of Spine, is through, and he's up into P13. One of the easiest moves you might ever see in League of Europe so far this season. Doom is into the pits from the lead of the race, so let's go on board with this pit stop as we'll get back on board if we can with the interval timings. Toxic is on the back of Neo by 0.3 of a second. Doom into the pits. Mediums are the tyres. Serves up. I thought he was serving up a 5-second time penalty there. That was just a bit of a glitch there on my end. Suku leads 2.5 seconds. Still yet to come into the pits. Doing quite well on that set of hards. He's making those tyres last very well indeed. Has got a bit of a buffer time to Campbell as well. Campbell now second. Doom is going to come out in a right set two here, possibly with Rocco, but he's ahead of him. And he's actually ahead of Baki, in fact, as well. So the Doom is ahead. Doom is ahead up to a P9. Suki's still yet to come into the pits, but P10 for now out on track. Killer Blue, the Brits, chasing down the Dutchman of Daniel. This is for 7th and 8th, currently out on track. Killer Blue having a good race so far. Has gained a few positions, I think, from his starting block. Actually dropping down 2 positions. Doom is the one, the other Ferrari, that I got confused with, who's gained 5 positions. Currently will be 6 when Suku comes into the pits as well. So Doom really having a very good race so far. Suku leading, Campbell second, Kuki Games in third. The main battles are going to develop in behind, but looking good so far for Suku, as he leads the way from Campbell, Kuki Games and the likes. Verstappen all over the back of Toxic. Looking like he's recovered the tyre as well, and now beginning to close in as we cut off the spectator menu there. Verstappen on the back of Toxic. See if he's going to try and get the move done down the straight. Don't think he's going to be close enough. You can see him going to try and line up for the move, but not close enough. 5/10 and DRS strain is not enough. Really, Toxic has got to be out of DRS on Neo for Verstappen to have any sort of chance of getting close to his teammate currently out on track. Of course, these guys will probably not be teammates. I may stress that the divisions are going to be selected within the next 24 to 48 hours. Spine has just set the new fastest lap of the race He could be the one to watch out for. He's getting 3 positions from the 16th. Could be the one to watch out for further in the as we go later on in the race. He'll be on the back of Rocco certainly in the next 2 laps. He could be on the back of Baki as well and could overtake him. So just running wide there through turn 6. With Verstappen on the back of turn 7. And now Killaboo beginning to get closer as well. Are we going to see a possible overtake here for the commentators of the season and Joom? Well, between these two, I should say. No overtake mode in operation for Joom. To be honest, if I was Joom, I would use it up towards turn 10. Chubbs, 3-second time penalty. Dakar defending well. But inevitably, I think Joom has now got to relinquish his position. Overtake mode been used up to perfection. He must have heard the commentator because Joom has sauntered on by on Dakar and he's through and he's up to 9th position. Not often I become Jeff in a race, but that was a perfection of Jeff. Joom is up into 9th position. There's Suku who still leads, but he's still going on that set of hards. Those tyres are going to be blistering like anything, I think, now. And you can see the gap. It was 2.22 laps ago. It's now 1.1. So those tyres beginning to fall off the cliff. It's going to force Campbell maybe into Kuki games if Suku can defend well. But he's got a good straight line speed setup running down the straight and it's gaining time. Through turn 1 he goes. Got to be careful here, the Paul. But driving very well is Suku out on track. Campbell 2nd. Kuki games in 3rd. Quite a lot of good battling going on, I think, in this race. But not really much overtaking. I'm sure you guys will agree if you are tuning into the comment section. Spine though on the back of Rocco. This could be a possible move down in towards turn 7, down the Mistral straight and into the chicane Nord. I think this one could go. And Chubbs is retired into the pit lanes. Captain Chubbs becomes our 2nd retirement out of tonight's race, out of tonight's pre-season race here in France. Spine though on the back of Rocco. Rocco was just nearly dropped out as he nearly goes for a little bit of a spin there actually. But now, gets the DRS, Spine not using up any overtake mode. Rocco's just got to be careful, he's got 6% of ERS. That does, the energy does recover itself as he goes down into the braking zone of chicane node. Triples to 18% there. He's just got to be careful though. He might be running automatic ERS. Now this is something that I picked up on in last night's TTML race, where some of the drivers were running automatic ERS and they weren't using the overtake button manually. So this could be Rocco's plan. He could be using automatic ERS. If he's not, he's really wasting away his ERS, which shouldn't really be the case. Suku, by the way, is into the pits from the lead of the race. He's the final pit stop to be made. Spine, though, is all over the back of Rocco. This surely is going to be a move through turn 1. He takes the wider line. He could be down the inside through turn 15. This is a bold shot if I've ever seen one. And that is brilliant from Spine. Can he get the run on Rocco? Yes, he can. He uses the great effect. Spine with an absolute terrific overtake. Down in towards turn 15. You never ever see a move pulled off like that. He took the wide out line on purpose to get the run on Rocco, and he's through. Rocco has been absolutely mullered there. Spine is through on fresher tyres, and he's through and he's up to 11th. Brilliant, brilliant move. I did say he'd be on the back of Rocco and Baki within the next 3 laps, and that is coming true. Kuki Games as well is on the back of Campbell, running down the straight. The top 5, by the way, are only separated by 2 seconds out on track. Yellow flag in sector 1. It's Suku that is found on fresh tyres, but now Spine lines up Baki. Job done for Spine, running down the Mistral straight. And he's through, and he's up into 10th position. Very good move. Rocco just picks up a 3-second time penalty slightly, but we're going to cut on board with the battle for the lead. All the action has been happening further down, but now is the time to cut to the battle for the lead, because now Kuki Games is beginning to pound Campbell now, maybe into a mistake. Pounding is the wrong word, I think, that I've just used there. But still, he is beginning to try and force Campbell into a mistake. That's what I was trying to say there. Neo is on the back as well of Kuki Games. You can see these guys as they run through turns 14 and 15. For what will be the start of lap 20. It is Campbell who leads, Kuki Games in 2nd. Eyes front as he closes in now on Campbell. Just running through actually the top 5 in terms of ERS deployment. 37% of ERS for Campbell, 24 for Kuki Games. So already a 13% advantage for Campbell there. Neo has got 28%. Toxic has got 10%. Got to be careful on his ERS management. And Verstappen actually looking best out of everyone on 43%. The more ERS that the guys have actually out on track, the better it'll be to use, and the more opportunity they'll have to overtake. Kuki Games not going to use up his overtake mode running down the straight though. Can provide extra power down the straight, but Not quite. I think it's something like an extra 20 kilowatts of power. Or something like that. 20, an extra 20 brake horsepower or something like that it is. But Campbell leads the way. Halfway through lap 20. Only 6 laps to go after this one. As I say, if you have liked this race so far, and if you've appreciated some of the overtaking, and you've appreciated the commentary, do like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and tick that notification bell so you do not miss whatever is going to go live. And speaking of going live, then the next races you will be tuning in for are at 8 o'clock. We have more evaluation races for you, and those are Lobby 2, Lobby 4 and Lobby 2 and Lobby 5 for those races. So if you are a fan of the likes of Bullet Boy, Matty or Dan from Lobby 2, and from Lobby 5 if you're a fan of James, Maverick or your JT, then you're in for a treat because they're racing in both Lobby 2 and Lobby 5. Back to the action though, and Campbell leads the way by 0.5 of a second. It's got on board though with a perspective from Verstappen. These guys are running in a pure DRS train. Out on track. Spine, by the way, is already into the back of Dakar after his move on Baki and Rocco, that phenomenal move on Rocco through turn 15. But now these guys are just beginning to get slightly strung out to the top 5. Separated, as I say, by dead on 2 seconds as they come down the straight. Less than 2 seconds now as they come down towards Chicane Nord. Kuki Games, right on the back of Campbell, Slovenian. Really good contender last season, actually, Kuki Games, of the Division 2 title. Campbell, of course, the winner in Monaco last season of Division 1. Neo, former Division 1 driver as well from Season 2, had a season off, is coming back. Toxic is back this season from his exploits in Division 1, as is Verstappen from last season as well. These guys really delivering some very good racing out on track. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate on these guys and on everyone as well within the race. We've seen some good moves and we've seen a possible good battle beginning to develop here. It's Rocco and Baki once again. These two have been left in the wake of this man, Spine, who is really getting into this race. His tyres will begin to run out towards the end, but Spine right on the back of his teammate. He's not going to go for a 2-for-1, is he? I thought he was. I thought he was going to try it down towards turn 15 again, but he doesn't. He's going to wait for the DRS, and he can probably see where this one's going to go. And there goes the ever-retreating papaya-coloured McLaren of our commentator of the season, Dakar, as he's been overtaken by Spine. Rocco as well. Pressurising Baki, right on the back. Just a shoddy run through turn 1 there from Rocco, losing a little bit of time. By about 0.3 of a second he lost there through the corner. But now, Kuki Games, he's on the back. Overtake mode now used up to good effect. He uses up, but he's going to use it up to close in rather than to pull away. No, I thought he was going to go for the move there. He had a little bit of a think about it, but the Slovenian still on the back of Campbell. Yellow flag in Sector 2 is a Renault, and I think that's Gary, who's just had a bit of a half spin further down the field. Luckily we didn't catch on board with that tonight, like we did in China, but certainly Gary is now beginning to just drop off slightly as we see the two Ferraris, the two Tifosis, gonna battle it out. You know what happened between the last two Tifosis that battle it out? Vettel and Leclerc, obviously, in the Styrian Grand Prix, they made contact and they were at the race on lap 1. These guys might do the same, but on lap 23 as we'll go on to. Campbell leads, Kuki Games second, Neo in third. Toxic, Verstappen trying to hunt them down as well. But keep on board with Doom. Killer Blue as well is on the back of Daniel. Daniel's retreated actually off the back of Verstappen. And he was looking, actually, he was going to get into contention for the top 5, maybe the top 6. He's still in 6th. He's now dropping back. Killer Blue is also beginning to drop back. I think Doom is just really beginning to come into this race, and now the Spaniard really using up his pace to good effect. He's got about 40% of ERS as he comes through 3 and 4. Baki and Rocco in the meantime pick up 3-second time penalties. Now Kuki Games has dropped 7/10 off the back of Campbell. Could force Neo into play here. Neo actually conserving his ERS to good effect. 55% of ERS running down the straight. And not close enough for the move. Still top 5 separated by less than 2 seconds out on track. 1.8 as they come through the Chicane Nord for the 23rd time out on track. There'll only be 4 more laps to go after this one. It is Campbell who still leads. Kuki Games second, Neo third, Toxic fourth, Verstappen in 5th. if I could, I would ride on board with the penalties, but I'm not, because I think it's more exciting that I don't provide you guys with the penalties of all of these, so you can work out the results for yourselves. Rocco right on the back of Backy, right on the back of Backy, and now the hards beginning really to come into play for Rocco as he tries to force Backy into a sort of a mistake. Campbell though leading, Kuki Games second, Neo in third. Just going to have a tune into the comment section, by the way, see how you guys have been doing. I haven't checked you guys all night. It's not that I'm ignoring you, it's just so that I can get a better connection on the stream, which is really good. Juma on the back of Killer Blues, who come down towards turn 1. He's not close enough, though, this time around. But driving really well out on track. And Suku saying he had a technical problem with his wheel, which is unfortunate. Viva Ritual also in the comment section saying Neo, Campbell and Spine was his top 3. And Campbell, Neo and Juma he meant. Don't go changing your prediction, even though it's going to be wrong because Juma is in 8th and fighting Killer Blue here. This could be a very intriguing battle, and this actually could be one of the easiest overtakes you'll see all night once again. Juma's through, and he's up into 7th position. Killer Blue has literally been left in his dust. Juma's through, and he's up to 7th. 24 out of 27, 3.5 laps to go. Rocco on the back of Backy, and there goes Rocco sailing on by. The sister car gets past the other car. Red Bull against AlphaTauri, and now the AlphaTauri is through. Backy is now retreating back to 12th. Rocco is going to be under pressure though from Backy. Look at Cohen and Larkin. These guys are coming into play as well. Perhaps this could be a 4-way battle for P11 soon enough, as Backy is right on the back here of Rocco. Still just over 2 seconds separating the top 5 out on track. But currently the battles are really all happening up and down the field. 3 laps to go at the end of this one. Campbell just comes across the start-finish line now to start lap 25. Kuki Games in second, Neo in third. No one close enough just yet. June, by the way, has now really bolted from Killer Blue. 8.5 tenths separating as they come down the straight. But now is Backy going to have his revenge on the run down towards turn 1 on Rocco. Closing, not closing enough. And he retreats with the overtake mode and saves up the ERS once again. June, 3-second time penalty through turn 3. But really good action. I'm sure you guys will agree in the comment section here. Have you been watching the full race? It's been a overtaking, lots of good battles up and down the field. I've been trying to mix it between the top half and the bottom half. Purely now for the last couple of laps, we're going to focus on the top half because Campbell, Kuka Games, Neo, Toxic, Verstappen, all could still win this race. Trust me when I say it, the last 2 laps I think are going to be absolutely unreal. This could be potentially a very good battle developing between these guys. And I appreciate everyone, by the way, for tuning in here to League of Europe. And as I say, Lobby 2 and Lobby 5 are going to be live in, well, just a short amount of time, to be honest. Within the next 15 minutes, I've got to hop straight off this because I've got another commentary for CRC LMP3s due at 8 o'clock. So I'm literally going to have to hop off. So no interviews tonight, but I will bring them back for race 1 of the season if the time allows. Campbell leading, Kuki Games in second. Campbell looking quite comfortable, to be honest, out in front. As Kuki Games has got DRS, tries to close in, not closing in enough. Neil, though, is beginning really now to hammer it down. He saved up his DRS good enough. Can he get Kuki Games on the down the Mistral straight, which will be the next couple, through the next couple of corners, that'll be the straight that they go on to next. Backy, by the way, and Rocco having a good battle. Backy sailed on by on Rocco. These two holding up Cohen and Larkin. Oh, a little bit of contact actually there between Larkin and Cohen. Luckily no vehicle damage on, so everyone still continues on safely. Neil then on the back of Kuki Games. He's getting closer but not close enough. Toxic though, again beginning to get in close as well to Neo. Penultimate lap of the race, Campbell leads. Kuki Games second, Neo third, Toxic in fourth, Verstappen in fifth. Verstappen just dropping off slightly. Campbell looks like he's really dominated this race, to be honest. I've got to say, got past Kuki Games, which we didn't cover, I don't think. As Cohen now trying to lunge it down the inside of Rocco, doesn't happen. Campbell has really, I think, dominated the second half of the race. He's really taken the race by the scruff of the neck, and he's now on the back. Doom is on the back of Daniel as well, just in behind this battle. You can maybe see it. There they are, actually, just in the background of shot. The Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo fighting out for 6th position. Doom getting closer to the back of Daniel. 0.3 of a second separating. Spine as well is on the back of Killer Blue. Down the inside goes Spine through turn 15. Killer Blue on the inside line. Spine trying to switch it back. Great battle. This is going to be a hectic final lap of the race. Neil's through on Kuki Games. Literally, it's all gone hell for leather. Spine is through on Killer Blue as well, trying to get on board with both battles. We see both overtakes. Neil's through to second. Spine is through, he's up to 8th, but 3-second time penalty could come back to haunt him. Toxic now on the back. Toxic now really beginning to hunt down as Larkin is through on Cohen up down towards turn 1, and Cohen actually retreats back up to 13th. So Larkin may be giving in there. Might have been a good move that, which we didn't catch on board with. Larkin back through up to 13th. But now, this is hell for leather. This is the moment for Toxic to get the overtake done on Toxic. On Kuki Games, I should say. Down the inside line goes Toxic. Through he goes. He's up to 3rd. Toxic gets a very good move done there. But look at what is happening in behind. Kuki Games has really forced this and split this race apart now, because Daniel and Doom are latching onto the back of Verstappen. And this could be all really too late for Kuki Games to try and defend the position. His tyres are going off the cliff. Verstappen is trying desperately to get past his fellow QVR member. Daniel has a bit of a half look through turn 12, and I think Doom actually gives him a little bit of a tap up the rear. Have you seen it so close? 6 drivers separated by about 2 seconds out on track as we come through the final couple of corners here in race 2 here of pre-season. Fantastic race. Campbell now ran the final corner. He's going to take it out on track. Penalties will still apply. Doom in the meantime trying to get past Daniel. Not quite. Campbell across the line to win in France. Neil was finished 2nd, and Daniel on the podium finishing in 3rd. A lot of penalties which we'll get on board with when we go on board with everyone. Verstappen 4th, Toxic 5th, Killer Blue 6th, Kuki down to 7th, Spine really dropping down as well as Daka jumps both of them. Backy up to 10th. Literally all hell was broken loose on the left hand side with the graphics. Gary's going to be coming across the line, the Irishman. An unlucky race for him. I think he's just finished there actually in P15. So Gary across the line to finish in 15th. My goodness me. Penalties changes all. Driver of the day is Spine. We'll have a look at where he got through. I will vote for my own driver of the day though, however. But what a race. And it's Campbell, the victor from Monaco last season in Division 1, has taken his 2nd race win in League of Europe that I've covered anyways. And Campbell celebrates with the Renault guys. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant race. And as I say, have you seen it so close towards the end? Top 2nd to 7th, separated by 2 seconds. Brilliant. Absolutely sensational. But Campbell has taken it. Penalties really the order of the day for some of these guys. Campbell wins by 1.3 seconds from Neo. Outgunned him on the strategy. Daniel finishes in 3rd. From Verstappen in 4th. Toxic in 5th. Killer Blue in 6th. Daka in 7th. Kuki Games in 8th. Spine in 9th from 16th. Fastest lap of the race for him as well. The Spine gets the fastest lap up to 9th. Really drove a good second half of the race. Not sure if he gets my driver of the day vote though. Larkin in 10th. Cohen in 11th. Backy in 12th. Doom in 13th. Rocco 14th. Gary in 15th. Suku 16th. Chubbs and Yelt. Suku as well. DNFing out of the race. So 15 finishers out of everyone. And Campbell is the one that has taken the victory here in race 2 of Lobby 1. Lobby 1 next week will go to Silverstone. Every race next week will be going to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, and appropriately enough it is the British Grand Prix next weekend as well, which is absolutely brilliant. But that is the action over and done with. Apologies by the way about my coughing and spluttering. My voice has gone pretty much from lap 1 to be honest, so I'm so glad I've got through a commentary. I've just received my Project Cars 2 invite there now. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I've been James Head. Please take care of yourselves. Please look after yourselves as well. And I will see you next week, hopefully alongside J. Cole, for the British Grand Prix. Until then, goodbye.